Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Welcome, friends. I think we're going to do some more Tauri today. Um, we last time started to work with a binary and pulling that in the config. It's called an external bin. I think it's also colloquially called that one word. Also called a sidecar. uh, So we just had a random binary that I had sitting around in my downloads folder that we had tried last time, and that worked. Ah, Chris, you're awake. Woohoo! we had a random binary sitting around last time that we used, and all it did was return hello world. So I think we want to take it a step further and have something that's longer running and see how we can interact with that binary. So probably just start up a simple HTTP type server and see if we can ping it from our Tauri app. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be Deno, because Deno has some built-in binary compile things. We could probably do it with Rust too, but I kind of want to like keep a little bit of a separation there, because the reason you would use a sidecar like this would be that you're pulling in a binary that's sort of like outside of the JavaScript/Rust ecosystem. I think that's probably going to be the main reason that you'd use it. Speaking of Chris, we were just talking about our GPUs and hardware. There's a lot of new hardware stuff coming out. And I got just got this in the mail the other day. You did that for a client a long time ago, Haskell binary and HTTP server. Yep. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I think that's probably like the main use case. And particularly the interest is that I have in testing it out is that we can deliver like multiple binaries and start like multiple servers, so like dev server kind of stuff, and have it all accessed via GUI, sort of in the vein of Docker, I guess. This is actually the first that I opened it up. So this is called a sense module, and it's got like 5 sensors on it. Yeah. So those are, let's pop over to the display and I'll go ahead and pull it up. Nexus Electronics.tech, I think is the website. Did I spell it right? No dash. The GitHub has the dash. So it has a bunch of sensors on it, and we started a Raspberry Pi project a few months ago now on stream, and that was hooking up an e-ink display to our Raspberry Pi Zero, and I think this might be kind of the next extension of that project. And I would kind of like to do some of this in Rust and Rust embedded, so that might be an upcoming project. And I suspect we might consider tying in some of our Tauri stuff with that as well, because we could potentially set up our Tauri app to communicate to our Pis. I think that would be kind of a neat integration and tie-in between those two projects. So the sensors are, we ended up getting some environment type sensors, temperature, barometric pressure. We get light sensors, of which can detect gestures. Microphone, I don't know what we'll do with the microphone. It's got a little quartz crystal that we can do time stuff with. And I thought there was a proximity. Oh, okay. This sensor has the proximity sensor in there as well. So I think we have a couple things that we could do with it. The e-ink display I'm particularly interested in using as sort of like a HUD type thing for myself, of which it would be cool to display weather or environment type data. But I think we could also use that sensor, the proximity sensor, to like use it to like switch pages. So if we've got like 2 or 3 pages we want to go through, I can use the proximity sensor as a way to like switch between them. And I think that'll be a fun thing too for friends, family, kids. When they come over, I can show them cool computer things. So that, I need to figure out how the heck I'm going to connect it. I think some of these my small electronic terminology is not great. These little holes on the side, I think, connect to the pins on the Raspberry Pi Zero. I think I only need to connect a couple of them. So I have to figure out how I'm going to connect them first. And then I think once we figure that out, we might start playing around with it. Oh, I didn't even realize it has a SD card holder. Interesting. I wonder what I would use the battery holder and the SD card for. I kind of assumed it would get the power from the Pi, but maybe this is a case where you can deploy it without that and just have it write data out. I'm not sure. But I think that'll be something that we'll play around with potentially on stream here once we get stuff figured out. But today, Tauri. So we did some connections to our Tauri app, and we were able to do events between our binary and the front end, and we were able to see those. Let's go ahead and start that while I'm talking here. What are we doing? npm? Yep, npm dev. No, npm Tauri dev. There we go. I had to remember the command. So that'll start up our app, and we can show what we accomplished last time. But while that's starting up, we want to hook up Deno to get a binary running here. I do have Deno installed, so we should be set there. And I think we're effectively going to do something like this. I love how it's or a more complex one, and it's I guess there is a server here. Okay. I think that honestly is like all we need though. I don't think we're gonna need to do too much more than that. All right, so here's our app. We can invoke hello world CLI, which returns hello world. Standard out, standard error. And this is the button that we want to hook up to this longer running server. So the idea being that in this case, I think we're invoking it from the JavaScript side of things. And on the JavaScript side of things, we are expecting it to run to completion and return. So we're invoking greet. No, that's the other one. That's that. We're invoking start GraphGen and execute. Okay. We're invoking execute GraphGen and returning and setting that as the state. Setting it as the state, and then we are reading the state here. So there's kind of that built-in expectation that it's running to completion. But if we're doing something a little more involved where we want to have something longer running, we're gonna need to basically do some sort of like streaming of the output. And it seems that the best way to do that is through the events. So we can start up this thing, and have it output to an event and listen to those events on the JavaScript side of things. And we had started hooking that up, and we're getting events. But to really test it out, we kind of need something that's just going to like start and continue to run. So let's see. I mean, I think we basically just need to do this. So let's see. I guess we'll do HTTP server hello world. So this is going to let us run this locally. Listening on localhost. I think we basically do this, and then we can just Deno run. So we'll just make a new, we'll call it Deno server.ts. Drop that code in there. I believe these, yeah. I think there's sort of the expectation that they're TypeScript. Honestly, I don't even know if Deno does non-TypeScript. Why is that complaining? I might need to add an extension to let it understand that this is Deno specific, but we'll deal with that. I am going to start up a new terminal here. Tauri playground, Tauri sidecar. So I think we can do Deno run allow net, which should do the localhost stuff. Deno server.ts. We're on Windows. First time running this with this version of Deno, so we get the firewall stuff built into Windows, and it's listening on localhost 8000. So if we go to localhost 8000, there we go. So we got hello world. Now we just need to figure out how to compile it. Manual, I guess. Oh, there's a 1.26. I think I have 1.25. I'm actually curious what the using visual. Okay, so there's a VS Code Deno extension. Let's go ahead and try that real quick. Language. So I've got it enabled. Pretty sure that's the one. Oh, that's kind of cool. It actually shows you the version in your IDE now. I know that was a odd thing in the past. You had to be careful what language server is running, what version of TypeScript language server is running in your IDE versus in actuality in your project. I don't know how to actually get the Deno language server to run though. If it's even running. You can enable Deno in a workspace by running the Deno initialize workspace configuration. Okay. So if we do Deno initialize workspace configuration, yes. Sure, unstable is fine. There we go. Slick. Okay. We got Deno working here. Now we just gotta figure out how to build it. Now I think it's something like Deno compile is the command that you would run. Deno compile. And it does include the cross compilation too. I don't think we're going to bother with that at the moment. But if we would hook this up to CI, we don't necessarily need to run Deno compile in multiple jobs to get a binary for every operating system. So I think we just need to do something like this. We need to do allow read, I'm presuming, and allow net. I'm also assuming that we need that because we are using that in our run command. Deno server.ts. I don't understand what the deal is with my cats, but they like to lick my green screen, which messes with my head. Program not found. There we go. There we go. Yeah, at least they're not hanging on it, right? Come on. I want attention. Coming up. Say hi to the gang. Cat levitating in background. I should get like a green cat tree that just floats up there. That would be pretty hilarious. That's the little things. Seems Bamboo agrees. Okay, so we got our binary. It didn't include the target triples in the name. So when we are creating our binary, you can see this was our previous one that we used. The Tauri external bin expects the target triples, which is the architecture, the what's the PC? Architecture something OS. Is this PC Windows, I guess, the whole OS? I don't remember what they... There's three pieces. Architecture, operating system, and something else. You can compile binaries by adding the target flag. So if you omit the out parameter, the name of it, so it's inferring the file name. You can set a file name, but that would not be fun. Here, let's look at the Deno compile flags. We've got config, cached, certs. Cats make my nose itch. No prompt output target. So you can give it a target. Possible values. So x86 unknown Linux new is pretty like that's gonna be that's gonna cover pretty much all the Linuxes, at least on like Intel chipsets. x86 I think is pretty much Intel chipsets or that architecture. Windows, Apple, AR64 is ARM based. Chips. What did we talk about? Stop. I don't see anything that actually has it sets the random Number generator seed. I wonder what that does. I don't see anything that's actually letting you set or have it include the target triples. Yes, I know we had this conversation. Don't like that. Target triple, I guess. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't include it in the name. That seems like sort of the default. Like I would expect it to just include it as part of the exe. I think so when she licks it, she's like itching. She like rubs the side of her face on it too. I think whatever like fabricy stuff it is the why she does that. So yeah, we did that full list of compilation targets. So you can get cross compilation by adding -- target. Deno supports compiling. So I wonder if we do the Deno compile and we just do. Is it? Do we have to specify the actual target triple? Yeah. -- target. Yep. So I think we actually have to specify the targets. Once -- Lite argument is passed, Deno compile uses slimmed down runtime only binary. Huh. Script arguments can be partially embedded. I'm guessing it's the -p. Interesting. So I think it's sort of expecting us to do something like this if we want to cross compile, and it seems like we need to run it multiple times. So if we set the target to the platform that I'm on, it's still doing an exe output. Huh. Interesting. Deno server - this module not found. Oop, 2 dashes on out. Output. This cat is incessant. All right, so do we need to include the .exe? That would be kind of annoying. Ugh. Okay, I don't think it doesn't look like we have to include the exe. That's good, at least. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss this TS in the bin folder. I'm gonna just take this as well. We can delete this. So now we should have a binary that's named the same. Yep. So that's something that we can that's something that we can run in CI. I think I would have to run that command multiple times to get multiple targets, but it's not the end of the world. For our purposes, it's going to be fine. This cat is very cuddly today. The kitty's name is Bamboo. Can you say hi, Bamboo? Couldn't tell if she meowed. Because she looks like a panda. I'm presuming that's actually the name that the Humane Society named her. Our both of our cats are named after types of wood. This is the cuddly one though. She's currently kneading my leg and purring. I don't know if you can hear that in the mic, but I'm getting hair everywhere. Okay, so cuddly wood. Yeah, I guess. So we got our Deno binary. Let's see if we can hook it up now. So let's go over to what we were doing in our Tauri side of things. Oh, wrong Tauri. This one. Here we go. So we had a command. This command was the thing that was. This is the start graph trend. So this is what we're working on. We want a sidecar called Deno server. Gosh, I just have cat hair everywhere. Can't hear it on stream, but you can hear it in Discord all the time. That's funny. I was kind of surprised you can't hear it on stream, but you're butt down. I don't need your tail in my face. Okay, so this is using the built-in Tokyo within async runtime, I believe, is using the built-in Tokyo from Tauri. It's spawning off basically a listener that is then emitting an event on the specific window that we care about. So the thing that starts this, that runs this command initially, is going to then receive all the events. And we are feeding it back the standard out right now. So we potentially also want to, we probably want to do standard out and standard error, but we'll deal with that later. I think this is all going to be good. Deno server. I think we pretty much got all the way to hooking it up, but we just didn't have a good thing to test it against. So start. So we're invoking it here. And that's actually going to start it, and then we need to start listening to the events. So here we are pulling from the state that we have set. And this, I think, is right out of the Tauri docs to listen to events. We do need to register it. So we have a sidecar registered already for this GraphGen binary, but we need to, since we now have an additional one now, Deno server. Please stop. Incessant. So we got to add it to the allow list so the shell is aware that it can actually hit it, and then we need to include it, which is here, external bin. I'm gonna have to lock her out of the room or something. She is not taking no for an answer. Okay, so we've got it whitelisted or added to the allow list rather. Okay, really? Cat hair everywhere too. Okay. We've got. Okay, I think we've got it all hooked up. We can give it a shot and see what happens, I guess. This listen is. We'll have to take a look at that. So there's, as part of the events API, there's an emit and then there's a listen. Emit creates an event so we can actually listen on the Rust side of things for that event. So we could do kind of back and forth event listening. And this listen, I believe, is just synchronous, and I'm guessing it's just going to keep spinning off logs. So go ahead and open up our dev tools here. Let's see what happens. We are getting the thing to start the binary, and we are getting messages. So it's listening in localhost. Now we kind of need a way to like hit it, I guess. I guess that's the other thing. So we're getting standard out here. In our Deno binary, we don't have, if we're just listening to logs here, we don't have a way to like trigger additional logs. So it's running and we are seeing the logs. How do we want to stream that? I guess what we can do with this listen is we're gonna invoke it, and as part of this listen, what we're gonna do is we'll log it out. The message is payload. We gotta look for the payload. So what we're gonna do is the GraphGen stream is currently just a string. So we're gonna output the GraphGen stream. Oop. Now it's not really GraphGen at this point anymore. I guess we can call it start Deno server. Start Deno. Start Deno. Set command stream. I'm okay with that. So here, this is the invoking the sidecar from the JavaScript side of things. This does feel a little bit weird. Like I feel like this should be. It feels odd for it to be synchronous. Like I guess it's just an event listener. It just feels odd. I feel like I should put it somewhere else, but so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say text. If we give I believe if we give use state of function, it's gonna, as one of the args, give us the actual value of the existing one. So I think we can do text and do text. Guess we do this text. And we'll say event.payload. And I guess we probably want a new line in there. Okay, so I did actually put it below it. We'll say standard out stream. So now if we do the start Deno server, I think I'm invoking a the command called start Deno, so I need to adjust the name of that. So this should say start Deno. And I think we're good. So since I added to the Rust side of things, it's going to need to rebuild Rust. It's going to reopen up our window. Help macro with a similar name already exists. We renamed the command, so we need to update the reference to the command in our invoke handler. Let it rebuild. I also need to update the window so it doesn't start all the way to the left, which is not shown immediately. Not sure why it's taking so long to build, but I think I did that in this app. Oh no, no I didn't. I did it in this one. The other one is not hiding the window. So with hide full screen center. Okay, so I'm sending it to center. Just go ahead and grab the full. So we want, I think we just want center. Everything else we don't really care too much about. Tauri sidecar is fine. I don't care too much about the height and width at the moment. Resizable, true. We got that in there already. Okay, so this should. I wonder if that value has changed. Failed to run custom build command for Tauri sidecar. Process didn't exit successfully. It is very possible that that command actually changed. Let's look at the docs real quick. API configuration. It was under Windows, I guess. Sort of a painful thing to search for, but center. The window configuration object. I'm not sure why that would cause it to fail. full screen with height. Not that the order of this matters. I'm just that order makes more sense to me. I wonder why that would cause it to fail. It's a Boolean. Center true. Yep, okay. I thought for a second it wasn't actually gonna. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's try X and Y. X is going to take a number. The horizontal position of the window's top left corner. We'll try 1800 maybe. Huh. Oh, format double. No, yeah, I did. I mean, I did a double. Interesting. Well, maybe I'm not going to put that on for right now. Okay, so we do want to get additional logs out of this binary. So while that's running again, we log here. Function handler, we're returning a new response. So what we're going to do is, seems that someone visited this URL. I think that's probably fine. Okay, so there is something going on here. Process didn't exit successfully. Permission denied. Access is denied to interesting. So it seems that something with this rebuild command is giving us troubles. I don't think it's actually this configuration that is causing the issue. So I am actually going to go ahead and just add this back in, because it would be nice to have that. Now, how do we deal with this? We can try this Rust backtrace equals 1 yarn. Rust backtrace should give us additional context from Rust, from the Rust side of things. And it is panicking on something about copying the binaries. I'm not quite sure why it would. It's possible that we still have Deno, that Deno bin running. That's actually entirely possible. So the code that we have written right now will start the Deno binary. I don't think we don't have anything in there to actually shut it down. So that's something that we're gonna have to deal with. Yeah, I do see a Deno server running. So I'm just gonna like manually end the task on the side here. And we're gonna have to get it to shut down gracefully. So as part of Tauri, I wonder if something in the builder side of things will allow us to like kill processes. We've got our Deno server here. Let's recompile that. We are going to stop this though, so I can recompile it and we don't have that binary change messing it up. Oh, cd bin. Okay. So now if we run this, we should get it to start up, and when we hit it, we should see a string of logs in our Tauri app. Now, while that's doing its thing, how are we going to shut this down? So we're spawning off the command, and we've got access to the child here. So is there like an on exit? Is there something built into Tauri that we can use to clean up processes on exit? So like we can do it here. Undefined. Oh. Why would that be undefined? We set the initial state. That's interesting. That's weird. I'm not sure why I would do that. But now if we visit this URL, we should be able to see it show up. There we go. That is curious. I'm not sure what's actually causing it to dump that out multiple times. And you can see another thing too. So what we're doing here is we've got this P in here. In reality, I think we want to do something like is it dangerously set inner HTML? Dangerously set. Is that what it is? Then it's like underscore HTML is this. And if we give it HTML, it's going to render the HTML instead, or render it as HTML instead. So we'll get the actual new lines in there. I'm not sure why this text is not coming through, but we should be able to now do something like this. And we're going to get, ooh. Okay, I probably have that API wrong. React, dangerously set inner HTML. Looks like I have that. Oh, I didn't have HTML all copied, or all uppercase there. And we need to, this needs to be an object. There we go. So we'll go ahead and refresh. We've already started the Deno server, and it's still going to be running. So I'm curious what's going to happen when we try to run it again. Okay. It doesn't look like it started it up multiple times. But we are getting that event a lot. So something is funky there. Let's see if we can find the way to clean up. We're going to go ahead and close this. Terminate this. Did Deno. Oh, it did clean it up. Okay, so it is actually cleaning up the processes. I think what happened before is because we panicked. But why would we? Why wouldn't it have cleaned up before and it is now? It just started failing. So there was something in that. I do have 2 instances of Deno running. So it might not completely clean it up, but it seems like it might be cleaning it up. We had a guides, development, debugging, testing. Oh, I'm in guides. I don't know if the switcher is actually going to help us at all. Yeah. Command. So that's within the specific Tauri API. I think we need to worry about it on the Rust side. I think so. The invoke command. So they're created. Command args. Honestly, I don't know which, like where I would look to see if it's actually cleaning it up or not. Event. Terminated. So there's a terminated. So we might have some cleanup happening here. Command event. Hey, look, an ad. Yeah. The oh, there's chat highlights now too. I was just looking on the side here. Weird. The the nice thing about getting affiliate or whatever is I get these like channel point redemptions, and we got the fun with that. But the downside is, yeah, those ads. Oh, thanks for the subscription. I don't even remember what I was saying. We're at ad number 4. Interesting. I thought it only shows ads at the front too. We're back now. We're back now. I thought it only showed ads at the beginning. Apparently it shows it in the middle now too. I don't know. Honestly, I think you might be my first sub. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Like the only thing that I've really used the affiliate stuff for is the those channel point redemptions, which they work now, so you should give it a shot. Go ahead and do. Oh boy, I opened up the emotes on the side here. Yeah, you have to show the ads, so I don't have a choice. Yeah, sweet. I do need to do materials. The stars I think are still gray as well, and the spiky spheres I think we set the material in the GLTF file, but the other ones are just gray. Fun times. Okay, so it's creating it. I think it is actually tearing it down. We are getting the standard out, and it's emitting it. It seems to be emitting it at multiple times though. So I don't know. Maybe we look at the Tauri API and we find the listen events. So these are specific event names. This event system allows you to emit events to the backend and listen events from it. So I'm assuming that these are events that we can listen for that are just built in. So something that we can try here. Well, I mean, we're just logging out all of it. Oh, we're just listening to a message. So there's a specific event. We listen to a specific event. So if we do window moved. Ugh, come on. A posture check. I think that's actually one of those built-in ones, the posture check one. That's beneficial to me though. I need just like a posture check all the time. Like off stream, I need somebody to just like occasionally press that button for me. I'm guessing these are events. Like it seems to be that they're listed in the events. So if we do a window moved, now we got to restart our thing here. Tauri dev, and I think those are all built-in ones. Is ID, payload, window label, aliases, event callback. So we have the emit and the listen. And we can unlisten via that. I think we probably, I wonder if this is more of a React thing and we need to put it in a use event and just subscribe once. That's probably what it is. Every time we re-render, it's resubscribing to it. So we have a subscription multiple times basically. And there's a once as well. So let's move this into, well, let's just look at the log here quick. It's moving. Is listen to an event from the backend. It would be kind of cool to just like listen to all events. Doesn't seem like there's a way to do that though. I'm assuming that these Tauri events are ones that we can use. Oh, wait, type? Okay. I think this is actually what we need to be using. There it is. Okay. And there's a lot of events, so like that was just a little tiny move, and it threw it a lot of events. So I think it is subscribing every time we get a re-render. So let's go ahead and put this in and does preact have use effect? I honestly don't remember. Use effect? It seems like it. We'll see if I can remember how to use. Yeah, preact slash hooks. Is that what I have? Okay, all right. Guess. Well, I don't really need async, but whatever. This. We wanted to just do it on initial load. We then will move these in here. Did I get that right? Async arrow function has no await dispersion. Oh, fair. Okay. Calling me out. I know I didn't use any async and I called it async. Let's go ahead and refresh. Start. I think that was it. So if we look at our dev tools here, so we're getting move events, but like I'm guessing it's like per pixel basically, and it's a heck of a lot than it was before. Is there a better way that we can check? I mean, so we got one event object already. So if we visit this again, we're still getting it twice at the same event ID. So that's interesting. Well, first of all, we don't actually need that piping in there. I'm still not quite certain why we're getting it twice here. Do we have our Deno server? Yeah, so it's the Deno server is already running on the side. Yep. So once we started, it's just running. I wonder if part of it is like it might be a little bit odd in dev. So every time we visit it, it is showing up twice. We do have only one server running. It's still showing up twice. We are logging the event. So listen is definitely firing twice. Why would that happen? And they are the exact same ID, so it's definitely the same event that's firing. If we safely shut this down now, are we? Oh, is it going to get the Deno server shut down? So that might be the other issue too, is that we've just got like listeners just floating around, and those don't get cleared out on the hot load. Yeah, it's still there. It might be a dev thing, which is a little bit annoying. I don't know that there's how you'd solve that though, as far as Tauri goes. Something to like be aware of though. So if we go to the URL now, we should not get anything. Okay, spinning. It's gonna can't be reached. We're gonna start our server. It loads it immediately. We only got one listen. Still not sure why it starts out undefined, but whatever. And every time we visit it, two events. I am not sure why it's firing twice. Window label is the same, payload is the same, the event is the same, the ID is the same. We are I don't think the state should have anything to do with it. But out of curiosity, it is still firing twice. Odd. Why would it be firing twice? Our use effect should be triggering it only once. Just for giggles, let's do a login here. Setting up listen. So that fires. And now we've got, is that 4? Okay. I think we're gonna have to do like some unmount teardown stuff. The let's see, Preact use effect. I do not remember the use effect. Return optional any cleanup code. Okay. So let's say const on listen equals that, and we need to return a function that calls on listen. And we will say unlistening, I guess. So we get the listen event. If we refresh, we get the one listen event. If we hit that, we do get 2 messages. So we get the It's still 2. That is weird. Let's just double check the issues real quick. This might be something obvious that I'm missing. It might not be. Event fires twice. Remember, React started running use effect twice in development. It did? When was that, like 17 or 18? I haven't done a whole handful of React lately, so I think I completely missed that. If it's firing twice, I would expect to see the setting up listen twice, right? Here, I should make this bigger. Stomach is growling too. If it's firing twice, I would expect to see this twice, right? Boop, boop, boop. So we are... Should I make this bigger? Can't tell if this is sufficient. Yeah, this DevTools, though, I need to really bump that up. So on the use effect, we're calling setting up listen, and then we clean up with an unlisten. If it's firing twice, I would expect to see that console.log twice. In which case, it would make sense that the listen was being attached twice. I wonder what that listen event is doing. Is that going to be in tooling, I guess? Tooling API. Events. It's using the event API, which comes from helpers. So there's an unlisten and there's an emit and a listen. Okay. A promise resolving to a function to unlisten to the event. I wonder if async is I don't know if I guess I could oh wait, that, which means I would want to do that, which I guess I don't actually need to make that async. I don't know if that cleanup can just take a promise. Still two events. So it's returning invoke Tauri command to listen. You didn't stop. What? If you want attention, then come up here. Come on. It's almost like so it's actually like connecting do the backend. Invoke Tauri command from Tauri. Invoke. It's almost like it's firing it twice within Tauri. So we're emitting a message for every event, for every line on that event. Well, so if we do a, was it debug? Line, I guess. That should give us, I guess I could do print line. Ugh, these double quote and single quote things always get me when I'm come back to Rust from JavaScript. So this should give us, we should see that event showing up in our terminal now. There we go. There's that. So now if we, yeah, this resets every time. Now if we hit this, okay, so it's not started. We get the listening. 2. It's firing it twice. Why would it fire it twice? While some event. So is it getting the event twice? Create new sidecar. Fail to spawn sidecar. I don't know my async Rust enough to like even have an idea of what could be going wrong here. So if that is an event, then fire. So why would it be let's try doing the event. Okay, no default formatter. Sure. So it definitely seems to be firing twice. And we would want to do this also for standard out, or we've got it for standard out. We would also want to do standard error. That's going to be a little bit harder to emulate, I think. I guess I could do console.error. That would throw, or that would show up on standard error, I presume. Q bigger. All right. Start the server. It's firing twice. Does it fire for every window you have open? Oh, that would be. Okay. Um, No, it's still twice. Yep, still twice. Oh, okay. Now it's saying only one usage of socket address. Okay. Stop licking that. So it doesn't fire for, well, I mean, I've only got the one window open. So presuming you meant the debug window, counting as a window. Um, doesn't seem to be that. Tauri async runtime. Chrome window. I've only got this open once. So that Chrome window is hitting the Deno server, and the Deno server was the thing doing the log. The log, or this the console.log, which goes to standard out here. Standard out then should be triggering an event based on this RX. Could have been a prefetch. I mean, it happens every time you. So you're wondering if maybe Deno is doing it. The Deno server. Yeah, the Deno server is a web server. Deno could be firing it twice, is what you're thinking. Possible. Possible. So if we run, we'll kill our. Oh, true. We could try curl as well. Yeah. Let's just try running the Deno thing directly. Oh yeah, still running it. Deno server stop. So out of curiosity, if we do it here, cheeky. Interesting. Good call, Chris. All right. So let's see what this request. Whoop, this request holds. I don't know if it. No, doesn't seem to. Whoop, not curl. Run. So first request is method get, redirect follow. Every time it hits anything on this. So the handler is just responding to everything and it's trying to get the favicon. So that's the difference. So we should actually tweak this to be more specific just to that URL. Can I do Deno land? Search for HTTP, I guess. Lightweight HTTP server. So really what we want to do is this. Server middleware routers. Oh, that's kind of nifty. Okay. Stat files, WebSockets. I'm going to assume that mod.ts is that import right there. So if I do server, get request this. Why don't you like that? Construction news, server, HTTP server. I guess from mod. There we go. Okay. So server use, nope, still you still don't like it, do you? From server.ts. It's definitely some like this. These docs clearly save this. Oh, is there a difference between standard slash HTTP? Okay, that's probably a part of it. I just want. Also, I'm like way far behind. From standard HTTP mod import stars server. So how is this doing routes? I think this built-in might be a little bit too lightweight for what I'm hoping for. So let's just use that other one. I mean, I honestly do not care what I'm using here. Though that's still in development. It's kind of that in development is still not I don't really want it to change that much. Okay, so we do HTTP at, I'm assuming I need to give it an at, but let's just try this first. Quick fix. Oh, I don't really want it to cache. Uncached or missing. Do you have to specify a version? I thought you didn't have to do a version on it. Maybe you do. V 0.2.0. I mean, I don't really care. Sure, make it in any type. Wow, really? TypeScript things. Are you gonna fix? Oh, okay, come on. don't really care. Let's do this. Let's do. I only care about GET requests. That's going to be in there. Let's get rid of this. Listen on 8,000. No, it's not a request. Is there like a respond or something? Kind of surprised it doesn't, like, why don't they have that in the I wonder if it's just not getting it from this context. So let's see. How do I use this? Import. Is that what I was missing? Deno.land/x http v2mod.ts. Module not found. Do I just need to run it? Is that what I'm missing here? Module source code cannot be parsed. Expected identifier. Is it really having an issue with oh, any. That's kind of. I have to run it to get this to go away. That's a little bit annoying. Okay. A new GET request. So we want to respond just to slash and GET requests. We're going to log someone hit the root URL. There we go. So now it's not the favicon. We are only logging when somebody hits and gets the root domain. Okay. So now, compile with that whole chunk right there. We'll get an updated binary. We can then do Tauri dev. We will get our Tauri app. Now we should only see one event. We don't really need those print lines in there, but we'll let them be. Unused import manager. I thought we were actually using the manager. Maybe not. All right. Inspect dev tools. We should be able to start one event. Hey. Actually, that's just the listen event. That one was always working. This one event. Hey. Okay. And while we were doing that, we broke this. So let's turn that back on. We can leave the other debugs in there, or the other logs. Now we should be able to start getting some things. Okay, there we go. Weird. So every time I hit start, I can't tell if it's actually, I mean, I assume it's restarting because we're getting the listening. Okay. There we go. Let's toss in a, like the current time on the Deno server. Should we just do a global? Hit counter. We're gonna do a callback to the 90s here. Hit counter plus plus. Ooh, backticks, not once. For the hit counter time. Close, stop, stop, stop. Rebuild this. Restart this. And I think that has basically covered everything that we wanted to try to do. So now we're getting events that are showing up. We are running the binary. They're showing up in our app. We might need to deal with that a little bit. Occasionally, it still doesn't work. So there are still. I'm not sure if that's something that I've done or if that's just an existing issue that we need to kind of keep an eye on. Watching. Oh, okay. I thought it said watching the sidecar for changes. I thought we do need the manager. I suppose we can remove that if it's not actually needed. Maybe we just needed the feature. We don't need to do the import. So now we should get listening. Here we go. Now that undefined. Why is that undefined? That's going to kind of bug me. Fine, leaving the logs in there. We are setting use state to that. I'd expect the, so like that should have a value, right? We're just gonna throw a ternary in there. Yeah, that's a little bit odd. Standard error, uncaught. Only yep. Okay, so we are actually getting standard error here. Let's add in the standard error listening and the event emitting here. We are currently listening for message. So what we could do is we'll call it Deno server standard out. Standard error. And why isn't it reformatting? Async move. Partial move occurs because value. So if command event standard error line. This part I'm not quite following why that's needed. I'm assuming that's the move. I don't know if I actually need that or not though. Because we're just doing the window and we're doing the line. Let's see, expected one of that or that. Okay. Ah. So it's doing a partial move. This reinitialization might get skipped. So if we do this, it's not going to let us do that. We're stretching these Rust muscles here, which are could use more stretching. I don't know if we can do like an else if. That feels odd. Like I feel like I should rewrite this in some way. We'll see what it says though. The command, I think we had it up before. Standard error, standard out, error, match on the event. I was wondering about doing a match. It seems this works, but I think match probably makes more sense because we would also want to log out error and terminated. Yeah, because that definitely didn't work. It's not emitting the event right now. We are getting weird. Why isn't it emitting the event? Oh, because I changed this. Yep. Okay. Deno server standard out. I kind of wish you could listen to multiple, but unlisten standard out. Standard error. I don't see any other way to do it than this. And just have a whole list of events for each one of those. I mean, I guess I could pipe each one of them in there. I guess I could just do that, do logs. We'll do that. Okay, so now when we're emitting, we're always just going to be emitting to the same stream of events, which is fine. I wonder if there's really no other way I can differentiate on the other end, but here I just want a list of logs so that the type of log doesn't bother me too much. Okay, so if we can do a match. I might end up having to look this up. Match. Rust match. It's been a while since I had to do a match. Match on event. And in the syntax. Lean on Rust Analyzer here. Command plus. Oh. Oop. What is that in Windows? How do you do the spacebar? No. Is it the this? Control and dot. It is control and dot. I think you're right, because that's what the actions does, right? No code actions available. Yeah, it's not in there either. And Rust Analyzer is supposedly running. Saved. No code actions. Just to make sure that this isn't messing it up. Yeah, totally weird. I feel like I have done. I feel like I have done that before. I'm pretty sure I have done that before. I mean, it's been a while since I did. Very weird. Is this the file that breaks Rust Analyzer? Possible that is still an issue. It doesn't actually say it does anymore, because I used to have the red squiggly line, so I assume that it's working, and like it says it's ready. But it's entirely possible that the macros that Tauri has built in are still causing issues for Rust Analyzer. Context for everyone else. In the past, Rust Analyzer couldn't handle some or all macros, and they've slowly improved that situation. It's not a red squiggly line though, so I'm guessing it works now, but that could be the reason that, because I'm also not getting like the context stuff. The I don't know what they call it, where it's like gray, where and it tells you the values of what these actually are. So it could be that that's the situation we're having right now. Kind of a bummer. Type Inlays. Yeah, yep, yeah. That's the word that I'm looking for. I am doing everything to the same. So I need the line, right? Can I just do this? I think I need to do this because I need the line. Type inlay support change the type inlay. Okay, do this. That interesting. Did they? How did it change? Did they remove it? All right, let's see if we're cool with this now. Commas. They removed toggle inlays from Rust Analyzer. Oh. The okay, what's this? Yeah, okay, pattern not covered. Yeah, so with the underscore pattern, do this value I'm using, does that doesn't work anymore, right? So I'd have to do something like I don't even know what I would can I just do a string there? Like I can't use line in there anymore, right? Why do you need to I mean um I don't have to, I guess. I honestly don't know what the so there's error and there's terminated. I guess that's for the binary itself. So that is specifically for the binary. So like something could return in standard error, but it's actually closing the binary. An error happened waiting for the command to finish. And this enum is marked as non-exhaustive. So there's like potentially other things in here that I just like. It would be nice to see this. I suppose we probably want to put that in here. Terminated. And then I guess all other cases we just so match in all the enums. Can I match on all? Oh, wait. Can I do like a star? How would I match on all the enums? The underscore would match on all the like all the enums that aren't listed. Yeah, yeah. So underscores match on anything. The thing that's tripping me up is the lack of like actual output from that. So like I can't use the event stuff. I guess. Can I do? I guess in that case I kind of just want to do like a print line on the for dev purposes. If you want to handle the variant, you need a match on it. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm doing something like that then. And let's say terminated payload. I don't like those ticks in there. Okay. Terminated payload cannot be formatted with the default formatter. I guess I'm probably just fine doing that. Is it not formatting my doc either? Like, I feel like this would be indented. Yeah, I think Rust analyzer isn't like picking stuff up or something there. Your guess is you're in a state where VS Code wants to upgrade, but you haven't yet. I have that on my Mac, I think. I feel like it always says that I need to upgrade, and every time I do, it doesn't actually upgrade. So start Deno server. Ooh. Address in use. Okay, so we're now getting, and we're getting the terminated payload. Nice. I'm cool with that. This would be nice to clean up, but I think that's a Deno error. Let's go ahead and kill that service. We'll try starting it again. There we go, listening. And then, just out of curiosity, if I kill it, is it going to terminate payload? Hey, okay. That's working pretty good actually. So if I fail to unregister class Chrome widget, that's kind of interesting. So it doesn't actually seem to shut it down if I just exit it, but that might be like the dev build. Okay, I think we kind of got it all working how we wanted to. We could do events from. No, I guess this is pretty much covering every case that I would want to do. JavaScript side can invoke binaries that are expected to run to completion, so more execute. I don't think it makes sense for the front end to do daemons or something that's longer running, but rather just like spin off the command and handle it on the back end like this. And in which case we need to do the event stuff. I don't really have a good use case for the other way around, where we need to watch for events on the Rust side of things, because we are usually running them in Rust at that point. So let's go ahead and try building it. I think it's just build right. Default. The default identifier, that's what they called it. That is kind of a funny story. I feel like this makes sense as a default, but when people use create Tauri app and get an app and they aren't familiar with app development and they don't think about an identifier, the identifier would be the like the thing that shows up in your process list. That has to be unique. So there's people like publishing stuff with that, which causes issues. So we'll do sidecar, Tauri, Deno, sidecar. So we put that error in there to basically force people to change it. So we're gonna build, it's gonna build Vite via Vite, our front end stuff first, and then it's gonna do the release build for Rust. And hopefully don't skip too many frames here. The release build might be a little bit more intensive than the debugs or the dev builds that we've been doing. That doesn't seem too bad. That should give us then a binary in our target directory. Sir. I guess, here, okay, src Tauri. So we should get a build in the release. And then we should be able to try it. And then we can see how cleanly it's going to shut down that Deno server. And that should be bundled directly. So this Deno server then is like part of the actual app itself. I think you can potentially do things like we could curl to grab a binaries from outside. And I guess while that's running, how far are we along here? Yeah, let's look at the FS stuff. I think it has notes in here about the allow list. Yes. So the allow list, you opt into file system things. And you specify the scope for it. So the directories that you can modify. So I think what we could do is we could run curls. We don't necessarily have to do it from the front end, but we can trigger it from the front end. I'm pretty sure we have file system. Well, I mean, I think it's Rust at that point, so I think you can do Rust file system things. But we could have Rust do a curl and grab binary from like a GitHub release or something. So you could have an app that's sort of like a binary or server management thing that you run, and you can have it be the thing that does all the downloading and starts binaries. Still going. Video too. Interesting. That's something else that we can kind of play with too if we want in future episodes. It uses the web view that's built into the operating system, but that's generally pretty green at this point. So we could do all the WebGL things there as well, which might be kind of fun to play around with. But I think what we'll end up doing is, I don't know if we'll run a server necessarily for things on stream, but it would be fun to have an app that communicates with the other little hardware modules that we have been playing around with, so Raspberry Pi type things. And I wonder, can you enable WebGPU? I think maybe yes now. Blog post maybe? There was egui. Yep, so there's an egui release, which uses a GUI library written in Rust and gluten. But I think as part of this work, I want to say there was the eGUI is something you're using for Rust Adventure admin stuff. Cool. Where where is eGUI? Do you actually have a Tauri app that's doing the admin stuff right now? I think this. I don't remember how this is implemented, but I know eGUI itself is a terms what's the word that they use? Let's go to eGUI. Immediate mode GUI. That's so it basically is like constantly rendering, which is very similar to, or the same, very similar or the same as what video games tend to do. So every frame is rendering all the things. And I don't know if this eGUI is doing it through the web view. Like, is it doing a I don't think it's actually like doing it in the web view. I think it actually is replacing the web view and it's using eGUI directly. Native. Yep. That's I believe that's correct. But I don't know what APIs or anything it's doing. I wanted to say that there was something with the WGPU, the web web GPU. I was also thinking of I actually forgot about the web GPU stuff. When you said web GPU, the this is the is it the next iteration on WebGL? Now I'm getting all mixed up here. Web GPU. So that does the rendering via the GPU. Is that actually WebGL though, or is it separate? That's separate from. It's a new spec. Yeah. Okay. So WebGL is a way to do 3D things. WebGPU is a like sibling spec, similar outcomes, but actually using the GPU rather than WebGL using CPU. I think WebGL can use the GPU though, right? But WebGPU is just an updated or a new spec that exposes GPU more. But when you said WebGPU, I was thinking you meant isn't there a new Rust something or other? Rust is it WGPU? Is that the same thing? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yep, WGPU. When you said WebGPU, I read it and my brain went to this. And I think people have been playing around with this as well, which is peer graphics. WGPU is a facade over WebGL. Oh, it is. Okay. Okay. So they are basically one and the same, which I guess that makes sense. And then that I kind of went there. Serves as the core of the web GPU integration of Firefox, Servo, and Deno. Okay. DirectX is kind of but I think Metal and Vulkan are the main targets for it here. WGPU create is what Bevy uses. WebGL2 is an old thing that's not really the same. Got it. Okay. And like this starts to get into shaders and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So, any of you folks watching, I can actually do a shout out. Can't use the new fancy shout out command because Chris does not stream on the Twitches. But Rust Adventure. Did I get that right? Yeah. Go check it out. Chris is doing a lot of cool work. A bunch of my Rust I have learned from Chris and via this. And feel free to link your YouTube too. The Chris has had a 3-month streak now of video on YouTube every day, mostly in the around the Rust ecosystem. Yeah, check it out. Okay, this sucker is finally 4th month now. Impressive work. That's not a small feat. Okay, I think we could just run this directly. And let's see if we're getting the binary and everything in here. I do not have the Deno server running in my process list so far. I'm not going to have the console anymore, so I can't check that out. In a release build, you don't have the dev tools, so I'm not going to see that either. So the only way I'm actually going to be able to interact with it now is pressing the button, which is sort of the point. So this makes sense. I wonder if there's going to... That path is kind of interesting. Oh no, I guess that makes sense. It's putting it right next to it. Okay. So I suppose when you actually use it, you're going to need these sidecars adjacent to the file. And that's part of what's important about having the installer, which is somewhere that I'm not seeing. Where did the installer go? Bundle. Yep, so the MSI would be that's the thing that you give to your users. The MSI will allow somebody to double click it and do an install, and that should contain Deno server, GraphGen, exes, and the Tauri sidecar. And then it does some things like, in the case of Windows, it will do an install for WebView if it's not on the system yet, which at this point, any more recent system is going to have that. So we should have a server running theoretically here. If we hit it, we should get a response, and we do, and it shows up there. Cool. If we hit the button again, we're going to get that error that it's already in use, and we get a termination. But the other one is still connected. So our state is a little bit odd here because it's like resetting our state. But I think that all works pretty good. And now if we close it, it does clean up our server. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if it's like a graceful shutdown. It could be possible that it's just like terminating it. So if that server is doing database type things, we might need to end up doing more to handle that. But yeah, I think it's I think we've kind of covered everything that we want to do. One last thing that I would like to try. There is that Slim So when we run a Deno compile, we get a couple different size binaries. This is the hello world. So it's sort of a baseline, like it's gonna be at least 60 some odd megabytes. On Windows at least. But they did have a slim option, and I am curious what that is gonna give us. Did they have it in this list here? I don't see it there, but I thought I saw it on the website. So let's just try it. We're gonna go for it, see what happens. Nope. Dash dash slim, I think is what it was. Nope. Try to display dash dash slim as a value rather than a flag. Okay. Compile. Lite, not slim. Kind of weird. Whoa, what is that? Lite. Get a weird like graphical glitch here. Okay. Lite, which was unexpected. Deno compiler uses slimmed down runtime only binary. Found argument Lite, which was unexpected. Do I have to pass it like this? That feels a little bit odd. Once dash dash Lite. Maybe I gotta upgrade? Maybe that's like a super new thing? I feel like I haven't seen that before. Granted, that's not saying much because I haven't done a whole ton of Deno, but yeah. I don't know. Guess I don't care that much. So I think we got everything covered. We in a previous stream we got just a random binary hooked up that runs to completion. So it executes and runs to completion, returns hello world. And then we started working on the events, expecting a binary that's more of a daemon that would be longer running. We would want to also deal with shutting that down, but the code that we were able to write today created a Deno binary, which should be something that we can create for basically all of the 3 platforms that Tauri currently supports. Have that bundled directly in the app and click a button. Rust will start it via the command, so it'll be in a child process, a completely separate process. Sidecar is one of the ways it was referred to. Then we are able to interact with it because it's a server that's running. That binary is a server. And then any interactions with it, we are logging out and processing it in Rust, creating an event, and we can subscribe to that event on the front end and display all the logs. So we can do a couple interesting things there. Server dev type stuff, I think, is probably the main use cases that I'm thinking of. But yeah, I think we checked all those boxes. Next time, I think we're gonna keep doing some Tauri stuff. Next time, I think, yeah, check that off the list. Hey. Yeah, right on the money. What are we gonna do next time? I really need to make those yellow. That bothers me every time those drop. I want to do more Tauri stuff next time. I think we might do another plugin. There's some store plugins You were waiting with the dialogue open to redeem that one. Nice. There's some other plugins that I wouldn't mind exploring. Some stores and state type things would be kind of cool to get into. And we do have some potential hardware projects that we might play around with. That'll take a little bit more prep work on my end to get rolling. But once we get to that point, that's something that might be worth streaming and potentially hooking up our Tauri app to those. Have the Tauri app be able to communicate with that. And as long as it's on the network, I also have Tailscale on there as well, so I can via my phone actually hit it with SSH and Termux. So we have some potential things to do, but more next time. So let's see. Is there anybody that's streaming right now that I could do a little raid to? Open that up here. I think I need more. I need to like expand my list of people to raid on Fridays. Everybody that I watch or am familiar with does not raid or does not stream on Fridays. Well, maybe next time. More things to figure out. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a good weekend. Have a happy rest of your Friday. We'll see you next time. Keep experimenting. Bye.